All right, friends, how you guys doing? Let's have a talk. So, actually, you probably have seen and watched a lot of videos about like learning English and talking in English and like how to speak the language properly, and you probably don't. So, I guess this is gonna be the last video you need to watch in your life. So, come here and let's talk about it. I'm gonna give you 12 rules to speak English fluently if you apply these rules to your life. So let's talk about it. Without further ado, number one, learn phrases, not individual words. So when you learn phrases, you will actually see the word that you want to practice in context. So it will make sense for you. You will understand better if you see that word in a context. If you see it individually, people will ask you, all right, so what's the translation of that? You're going to be, well, it depends. It depends if you're talking about this or you're talking about that. So yeah, to avoid that, always practice in context so you will understand what the word means in a context. Okay? Number two, never, and I wouldn't say, not never, but don't study grammar directly. What do I mean by that is like, never open a book to study grammar or watch a specific video about studying grammar. Just let the grammar coming to you. For example, rather than memorizing grammar rules, try to read conversations and understand movies where they're talking like, yesterday I went to the store. So you understand the grammar in this context because the person said, yesterday I went. So you can have an idea that if the person said, yesterday I went to the store, it means like that situation already happened and it was yesterday. So you kind of can connect the point A to the point B and woo, that's it. This is the grammar. And you're not like wasting time and like hating the language because you're spending tons of time listening to some boring video about grammar. That's it. Number three, learn with your ears, not with your eyes. So I'm going to be very specific in this one, and mostly for Brazilians, for example, or people that speak Spanish and study English as a second language. When you do that, you're going to remember how the words are spelled, and that is gonna bother the way you speak them because you're going to connect that spelling with your mother tongue. So it's not gonna sound really cool when you pronounce the word because it's gonna be very similar to your mother tongue. So try to listen the words and kind of repeat what you hear, even if it's a weird sound, because that's it. English is weird sometimes comparing to your mother tongue. So I want you to listen more and say what you listen, not what you're reading, because it's a totally different story. So learn with your ears, not with your eyes. Let's talk about the rule number 4. Repeat content multiple times. And so instead of like practicing one text a day, why don't you practice the same text every day for a week? Because I know that if you practice one text today and one text tomorrow, I know that if I ask you in like 7 days, if you remember what you saw in the first text, you would not remember. You're not going to remember. So that's my point. So spaced repetition, practice a text one day. The other day, you open the same text and try to remember what you studied. The third day, you try the same thing. Fourth day, same thing, until you can say to yourself, I actually know these words now and I can use them in my life. So when you feel that, be comfortable to move on to the next text. All right? Number 4, learn deeply, not superficially. And now it's pretty much more about speaking the words out loud. So I know that most of you will grab a pen and a paper and will be reading a text for hours and hours, and you guys not move a muscle in your face to practice the language. And that's not how it works. I really need you guys to open your mouth and speak the language. So like if you're practicing the expression, how's it going? I don't know, instead of just reading it and reviewing it and doing a flashcard and a review and doing I don't know, some writing, study, like just open your mouth and say, how's it going? Like practice as you're saying hi to your neighbors, like, hey, how's it going? How's it going? And how's it going? So practice, say out loud. It's gonna help you a lot, and you have no idea how much. Moving on. Rule number 6, use authentic and interesting material. What do I mean by that? Practice with the things that you like. I don't know, do you like motorcycles? Watch videos about motorcycles. Do you like cooking? Watch MasterChef. Do you like series? Watch a series. Practice with what you like. Of course, you're gonna have to kind of create an environment where you have to study and practice what you saw. It's not gonna be a lot of fun as just watching it and drinking a beer, for example, but you can grab something that you like and practice with it. So that's my suggestion. Like, use something that you like. But I don't like anything. So now we have another problem. It's not English your problems. Your problem is like finding a hobby, and that's it. All right. Moving on to number 7. The rule number 7 is speak only when you're ready. So if you want to practice with someone and you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. Just wait a little. Let's grab more vocabulary. Let's have more time with the language. Let's practice more vocabulary. Let's listen more hours of podcasts and stuff. And then when you feel totally comfortable, you will say, all right, fellas, I'm right here. Talk to me. Let me practice. So don't feel pressured. Like, spend time absorbing the language. Then say to your speaking partners, or maybe your teacher or your tutor, or maybe in your trip, that you feel comfortable and you want to start practicing it. All right. Rule number 8. You need to practice every day. I don't like the word study. This is something that everybody that knows me really well know that I don't like the word study. So my suggestion to you is to practice the language every day. I think that pretty much the concept of studying, I don't know, in my opinion, sounds like more when you're seeing something for the first time, and when you need to review that, is more like practicing. So as I imagine that you have been studying English for a long time and you understand this video, I believe that you know the language and you have been studying it for a long time. So I believe that at this point, you're practicing. So that's it. Practice every day. Doesn't matter how. Duolingo for 10 minutes, a small text, a small podcast or something, but just be in contact with the language every day. And you will see that you will get better. 0.5 in one day, 1 in another day, 2 in another day, but that in the end of a year of 365 days, you're gonna have a lot of improvement that you have no idea how. All right. Moving on. Number 9, use stories in English to practice. I said a little bit earlier about texts. So I'm a very big fan of texts, mostly like if you can have the audio and the text in English and the text in your mother tongue is something that I'm very fan of. So if you can do it, find a website or a YouTube channel or something that talks about it, that does it for you, that creates this type of content to you, and I don't know, use it, enjoy it, and study with stories in English, with the translation with your mother tongue, and the audio for you to compare. So these 3 sources will help you a lot. All right, so this is my suggestion, and I also know that you're gonna have some fun too. All right. Number 10, you can create mini stories and ask questions in your head. For example, how was your day yesterday? So in your head, you can practice the past, saying like, yesterday I went to the park, then I saw a dog. The dog was nice, and the dog played with the kids. So if you really did that and you saw that, try to be aware of this. Maybe write on a paper, maybe tell to your spouse or to your partner or to your husband, and maybe say it out loud. But I don't know, create a mini story, ask questions about that, like, where did I go? I went to the park. What did I do? I went to the park and I saw a dog. So you know what I mean? Like, It's about being involved with the language and spending time with it and thinking about it. I know that in our day we have lots of stuff to do, but like, can't you separate like 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day to practice and include this activity in your day? I know that you can, but when you can't, it's because it's not a priority. So you have to make that a priority, all right? Number 11, various content. Sometimes watch Harry Potter with the British accent. Sometimes watch an Irish movie. Vary, because it's important for you to know that English has different cultures and different accents. And at some point, you hear somebody saying better instead of better, and you'll be like, what? And so that is not something that I would recommend. So it's good if you vary the content here and there. All right. And number 12, one of the most important rules I'm going to say is like, stay relaxed, positive. Do not put a rule of like, I need to learn English until the end of 2024 or 2025, and I need to be this, I need to be like that. Just enjoy the process. Slow down. Practice a little every day. It's like, I don't know, learning how to play the guitar. The first day you know nothing. Like in 100 days, you're going to be playing a full song. But you're not in a hurry. It's like learning jiu-jitsu, for example. Your first week, you're going to be a white belt. But in 10 years, you're going to be a black belt. I mean, you have to wait. And you just have to go to your jiu-jitsu practice or go to your guitar lessons because you like it. Not because it's a pressure. My boss is asking me and demanding me to speak English. I mean, if you're under pressure, you're not going to learn. I guess that's it for today. Thanks for your attention. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And I see you in the next video.